I will call Inês Rosa to do her presentation. I think Inês is from Conservation and Restoration, Universidade Católica Portuguesa, from School of Arts, Porto. And she will be accompanied by her professor, Eduarda Vieira, which is also from the same university, is the professor of Conservation and Restoration. They will be talking about conservation of plaster panel in low relief, Os Pescadores, from the collection of the Faculty of Fine Arts of Porto. Inês.
Thank you, but it's my colleague, Mariana Costa, who's making the presentation.
Hello. Good morning. Is that Mariana as well? Mariana is also a student of Conservation and Restoration from the same university. Thank you so much, Mariana. Go ahead.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Is everything okay? Are you seeing? Okay.
Yeah.
Good morning. My name is Mariana, and today I will present to you a conservation intervention done on a plaster panel in low reliefs called Os Pescadores from the collection of Faculty of Fine Arts of Porto. This intervention was made by me and my colleagues, Inês Rosa, Mariana, Durana, Marta, Borges, Sofia, Perestrelo, Isaura, Almeida, and with the help of Professor Dr. Eduarda Vieira. And it was made in an academic context of our master's degree in Conservation and Restoration of Cultural Heritage in the Universidade Católica Portuguesa of Porto. So the intervention was made in a plaster. So first of all, starting with the, it will be in 5 sections, starting with a little of historical context, following by a conservation state, and then talking about the cleaning tests performed, following by the perform intervention, and finalize with the results and discussions. So starting with historical context, this plaster was made. It's a gypsum plaster panel entitled Os Pescadores, by the author Maria Graciosa Mendes Carvalho, and it exhibits an iconography related to the Estado Novo regime, utilizing the theme of the sea and the fishermen. The date is it's still unknown, because we estimated it was made between 1939 and 1949. This was based on the student's inventory and the author's biography, that it corresponds to her time in the faculty performing the plaster itself. In the conservation state, we divided it in 2 groups, structure and surface. Structurally, the panel does not show major anomalies, with the backside being intact, but there's some previous presence on the middle part of the panel, as you can see by the red line in the middle on the image, that show there have been a breakage in that area. But the major concern of this panel was actually the surface, because there was a dark tone throughout the work, more or less homogeneous, depending on the location. And also there was an overlapping layer of what we assume to be Portland cement on the lower half of the panel, near the boy's legs and the net next to it. Okay. So, the removal of such conflict elements was of a major concern, given that the substrate, being a plaster characterized by being a porous, bright, and hygroscopic nature, it needed to have these things in mind. So, to achieve the main criteria of having a homogeneous color within the panel and to restore its reading, we opt by cleaning options that range from mild mechanical cleaning to cleaning up to gels, as said by others. So, which are the advantages of using gel-based product? Because they have the ability to have a localized and controlled action of application, and also they are easy to apply in any type of textures. They can also avoid mechanical stress, and above all, have the ability to embed and retain dirt. So, in the gel-based material, you use 3 main materials. So we use agar-agar, Lapunit, and Remer's Art Mundit. Agar-agar it's have the ability to introduce water in control and slow matter that we using natural ingredients and has a high performance as a cleaning agent. So we use agar-agar in its pure form in a viscous state, and also Nevek. Nevek it's a ready-made agar solution mixed with ethanol and isopropanol in low percentages. And we also mixed it with other substances with the Nevek, with hydrogen peroxide, borax, and AB57. So hydrogen peroxide and borax was selected because of their bleaching and cleaning properties that will restore the original color of the panel. And then the AB57 was used because have been shown to be a very good way to clean frescoes and stone surfaces. Also, it was used Lapunit R2 with citric acid. Lapunit is a synthetic silicate that absorbs dirt and grease, and it was added citric acid as a chelate agent to enhance and accelerate the properties of Lapunit. To finalize, it was used a Remer's Art Mundit, which is a latex cleaning product that once it's set, it absorbs the dirt and it can be easily peeled off the surface. So, as previously said, the main concern of this plaster was the amount of dirt accumulated. So we started having a mechanical cleaning with a superficial mechanical cleaning using soft brushes and a low power hoover with a filter in case there was any detachments from the surface, and followed by the mechanical remover of what was assumed to be the Portland cement using a scalpel in parallel to the surface to minimize abrasion, and it has an amazing result in removing the cement. By the chemical cleaning, it was selected the Nevek with borax and Remer's Art Mundit. Both of these, compared to the other products, showed the best results. But there's a different methodology where we selected two different types of products based on their texture. The Nevek with borax was applied only on the more textured areas as the net, represented in blue in the image, as you can see, and then as green, it was applied the Remer's Art Mundit latex. The following video shows the removal of the latex. As you can see, it was only applied on the more smooth areas because the latex showed to be ineffective in the more textured areas. Also, if we applied on the more textured areas, it will happen that will be a waste of product because they are very deep, and to have this peeling effect, it will be easier to only apply the Nevek to these areas because it actually showed the same result as the latex. So also it's noted that the producer of this product recommended that the cure of the latex will be 24 hours, but we only left it to cure for 3. This happens because after 3 hours, the latex will easily peel off the surface and will actually detach from it with the dirt adhere to it. So it wouldn't be making any more sense to stay there if it was not adhering to the surface. So, but not everything went as smoothly as we thought. The use of Nevek and borax caused a fungal infestation. Why? Because unfortunately the panel was in a non-controlled environment, and with the relative humidity and the temperature fluctuations, and the fact that it was wrapped with bubble wrap to prevent from superficial dirt to be adhered again to the surface, created a microclimate. And there was also some residue from the Nevek with borax, because once the Nevek is set, it's transparent. And since the net is very intricate design and very hard to reach in some areas, we couldn't actually see where the product was left. And with this microclimate, of course, it generated a fungal infection, as you can see by the images. This was easily treated using 70% ethanol applied 2 times, and easily was removed. So the cleaning of plaster work is still a challenge that must be faced, of course. It needs to be done more research in finding a more suitable product and new approaches that show more effective results, and newer and available of methods and products. So we need to have in mind that the texture of the surface, the type of dirt adherent, and also the depth of the penetration in the support are relative parameters that we need to have when we are selecting and making a choice of products to use, of course. So the use of gel-based cleaning agents shows promising results that allow a controlled and specific removal of adherent dirt by adapting agents according to the substrate, such as latex remus art mundit, which is also another alternative to the gel-based cleaning agents because it has no water, so it's amazing for the plaster. It's a ready-to-use product. Has amazing performance in smooth areas and allow the application in large areas at once. That minimizes the time consuming during the procedure. But nonetheless, this type of material is very expensive and it does a poor performance in more textured areas. So to conclude, this work proved that the best approach was the combination of procedures to get the most of each product surpassing its limitations. To finalize, I'll show you the before and after intervention pictures. As you can see, the product did a very good result. And it must be mentioned that the work is still in process, is not finalized, and it will be done soon. So I thank you for your attention. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please be free to write us on the emails on the panel. And thank you so much.